Hey guys, it's Kevin again, and this is going to be the first of my classic horror movie reviews. And guys, I was really looking forward to this, and if you guys not seen my last video, I explained that I will be doing classic horror movie reviews, because I figured that it was the best thing to do, because it is officially October, and I would have done this last week, but I didn't get a chance to, I just didn't feel like it. But, I'm going to start with the first one. Now, I did 4 classic horror movies for you guys, last year in October. I'm not counting Child's Play or Scream, because those were separate. I did those in the summer, but in the summer I did those, but I reviewed 4 last year. I reviewed Halloween, Halloween 2, A Nightmare on Elm Street, and Carrie. So I did those. But I'm finally going to continue them up, and the first movie I'm actually reviewing is the movie I was actually planning to watch next last year. For whatever reason, I didn't get a chance to finish it. I don't know why, I just decided I was not going to finish it, and I'm so glad that, I finally decided to watch it. And this movie is a movie that I've actually been pretty scared of watching, because this is a movie that's terrified, and I am not kidding, terrified my parents. My mom easily gets scared in movies, so that's no shock. But my dad is, like, terrified of this movie as well. He can't watch this movie. My parents have warned me about this movie. It has been one of my most anticipated horror movies for years now. I've been so interested in this movie. Because, when someone says, oh, don't watch it, you immediately want to watch it. So, that movie I'm going to be bringing to you without further ado. That movie is the 1982 supernatural horror classic, Poltergeist. I have been wanting to see this movie for such a long time. I finally saw it, and I'm so happy that I did. And, how was Poltergeist? Poltergeist is a masterpiece. It is probably one of the best horror movies I've seen. It is fucking scary. It really is creepy, but I love this movie. I thought it was such a great story, and there are quite a few things I love about this movie, definitely. Now, we are going to talk about, some of the weird superstitions about this movie that, a lot of people, I'm sure, do talk about. First of all, guys, if you guys are scared to watch this movie because you think you're going to die, you're not going to die because you watch Poltergeist, okay? You're not gonna die. It's that simple. Like, I know there are people who, like, say, oh, I don't want to watch Poltergeist because I think I'm gonna die. Like, you're not gonna die while you watch Poltergeist. I'm just saying. I don't know if everyone thinks that, but I know certain people do. But let's just get to this movie. Basically, if you guys don't know what Poltergeist is about, it's about this, modern suburban family, in the 80s. They live in this, quiet, California community called Cuesta Verde. You have, this family that lives there. And one day, their youngest daughter, Caroline, wakes up one night and she starts talking to the family's television. And, she's just talking to it. And of course, it's really weird and everything. And at first, they don't really believe her. They just think that she's joking around and everything. However, one night what ends up happening is that, later in the movie what ends up happening, this is not a spoiler because it's in the first 40 minutes of the movie, Carol Ann ends up getting, kidnapped by this ghost that's in the house, and she gets sucked into the TV, and basically, the family now has to rescue her and also find out what the fuck is going on in their house, and that's basically the plot of Poltergeist. Now, the movie's a lot more than that, but I don't want to talk anymore about the movie because it's a movie that really, I want you guys to watch for yourself, because the scares in this movie will not be as scary if you already know, like, what's going to happen in the movie. So I'll definitely talk about that. But let's just get to, some other stuff in this movie. First of all, let's get to the acting in this movie. The acting for a horror movie, this is really, really good acting. Like, everyone was really good. One of the things I love about the characters in this movie is that, how in a lot of horror movies, like, say, A Nightmare on Elm Street or Friday the 13th or those, like, classic ones, they make really stupid decisions that obviously are going to get them killed. That's not the case with this movie. The family in this movie are actually very smart people, and, they right away, they're not dumb, and I like that definitely about the characters, because, a cliche in horror movies are, oh, they're dumb. No, that's not the case with this movie. They're not dumb at all, actually, and the acting is definitely very good. Craig T. Nelson plays Stephen Freeling. He was definitely very good in the movie. I really liked his acting in the movie. He actually was not the best, though, but I thought he was still very good. Probably maybe 4th best. I thought he was definitely really good. JoBeth Williams as Diane, amazing. She gave an amazing performance. You could tell that she was a mom that really wanted to get her daughter back. There are a lot of really great scenes where she is talking to the TV and you can see her daughter answer back. Like, just such a great scene. I loved, all her acting in the movie. I thought she was definitely very, very good and just really great acting from her. However, the best in this movie, without a doubt, is Heather O'Rourke as Caroline Freeling. God rest her soul. She is fucking amazing in this movie. She's the thing we remember most in this movie. So obviously, she's the best in this movie. Her character is just so iconic. The second that she says the famous line, which of course, I'm just gonna do right now. They're here. The second that she says that, be prepared, shit's gonna go down. The second that she says that, because that's when things get really intense in the movie. And here's the thing about her character. Most of the movie, she's talking through a television screen, but she's just so good in the movie. She's so creepy. You're so scared for her. You want her to be rescued. She just did such an amazing job in the movie. I thought her performance was by far the best. She was definitely very, very creepy in the movie. And really, she kind of started, I don't know if she started it, but she was one of the few, really creepy child actors, and she definitely did a great job. And there's a reason why she was, the reason those sequels were made was because of her character. Because in those sequels, she was asked back to do, the other two movies. No one else came back except her, and I think maybe her brother, but that's really it. Dominic Dunn as Dana was fine, nothing much to say about her. Oliver Robbins as Robbie, really, really good acting from this kid. He did a really great job. He was so determined in getting his and getting his sister back. He definitely did a very good job. Someone who I didn't think I have to highlight as much, but I really liked her acting was Zelda Rubinstein as Tangina. Holy shit, when she came into the picture in the movie got so creepy. Like, her character, she just had such a creepy voice, and she did such a great job, definitely. She was so good in the movie. And I guess the only other person I'll talk about is Richard Lawson as Ryan, just because of this one very famous scene that I'm not going to spoil, that I will talk about in the spoilers, but definitely he did a very good job in the movie. Let's get to the directing in this movie. The directing is Tobe Hooper, and he did an amazing job, definitely. The tone in the movie was perfect. The way he set up the movie was great. I love that the movie starts very, very quietly, but then gets louder and louder as it goes on. He definitely did a great job with it. The directing was great. However, the best part, also, this movie was produced by Steven Spielberg. Amazing job, obviously. Steven Spielberg did a great job. The cinematography, oh my god, this movie is some of the best cinematography I think I've ever seen in my life. I think the cinematography is amazing. This movie, I believe, was nominated for Best Cinematography at the Oscars, and I believe it was. I'm not entirely sure. It was nominated for Best Visual Effects, which it definitely deserves, because this movie has such amazing visual effects. For 1982, it still holds up today. That's how good the visual effects are. They still hold up today, which is fantastic, because, a lot of times people will say, oh, those effects don't hold up today as well, but these effects definitely do still hold up today, which I definitely really do enjoy about this movie, how good the effects are. And I thought that was definitely very well done, and it definitely should have been nominated for Best Visual Effects. However, the best part of this movie is the editing. The editing is the best part of this movie by far. Now, you might say the editing is the best part of the movie. Because of how slow-paced this movie is, that is why this movie is so creepy and so scary. That's why. Because the beginning of this movie, you're thinking, oh, it's not going to be that bad. It's just like a fun movie. But then the second half of this movie, you are not prepared for the second half of this movie. They don't give you enough time to prepare for it. You know that the second that she says they're here, you're like, oh shit, some shit's about to go down. I knew that when she said that shit was about to go down, and it definitely did in the movie, and I thought that was definitely very well done. By far, again, the best part of this movie is the editing, because, how slow-paced it is. And if the movie was not as slow-paced as it is, people could say, oh, the movie's long or whatever. It's not long, in my opinion. It is the perfect length, because if it was not as long as it was, and it was not as, and it was not as slow-paced as it was, the movie would not be as good, because if it just started, like, really scary, it wouldn't be as scary as it really was. So, that's really the best part of the movie, is the editing. Now, let's get to the spoilers in the movie. If you guys have not seen Poltergeist, do not watch the rest of this review, because I'm going to spoil some of the best scares in the movie. I'm sure you guys know the best scares in the movie, because this movie's a classic, but if you guys have not seen Poltergeist, and if you've never heard of it, which I'm sure there are a lot of people who I'm sure have never heard of it. If you haven't heard of Poltergeist, you need to watch it right now, though, because I definitely feel like you definitely should. So, let's talk about the spoilers in the movie. So, of course, I thought the movie got really scary once the investigators came. That's when the movie started to get really scary. That one scene, of course, where Ryan goes into the bathroom and his skin starts to come off. I was like, holy shit, this is graphic. I was not prepared for how graphic that was gonna be. But I think the best part about this movie is, of course, the ending. Caroline is rescued, and you think everything's okay. And it seemed very abrupt to me, and I was like, okay, now I have an issue with this movie because it seemed very abrupt. It seemed like they were just going to end it that way. However, we find out that just because, we think it's over, it's not over. I love those kind of movies. That, in my opinion, when you do that, makes your movie even scarier. That reminds me of a movie called Coraline. Coraline was a movie that wasn't creepy until the second half because of it not being, thinking, oh, when it's over, it's not over. And that's one of the great things about this movie. It's one of the first movies that I think did that, and I thought that was definitely very well done, in my opinion. I really enjoyed that about the movie, how when you thought it was over, it wasn't over. And I think that was when the movie just got so, so terrifying. That scene where Diane is, like, being possessed by that demon, and the demon's, like, make her move around the wall, so creepily done. The creepiest scene, though, was with that clown. That clown was fucking scary, because that clown, when you see that clown doll, that is when you know, okay, the demon's still in the house. And, of course, then we find out that the owner didn't remove didn't only remove the headstones, didn't remove the bodies, so that was really intense. And I was glad that they left the house, and basically the movie ended with him, shoving the television outside the balcony. The movie doesn't end the happiest way, though, because you know that there's going to be another family and the same thing's going to happen to them, and it's just going to keep on happening, and it's really good that the movie ends that way. I like that the movie isn't a completely happy ending. I mean, of course, the family's safe, but anyone who goes into that house, the same thing is going to happen to them. So I thought that was just a very good way to end the movie. I love the way it ended, and just, wow, some really creepy stuff about the movie, definitely. And also, I gotta say, the scene where Carol Ann was taken into that television, that was scary. Like, that was when the movie started to get scary for me. And the movie wasn't that scary up to that point, but then I'm like, okay, yeah, this movie's scary, definitely. And, a lot of people say this movie makes you terrified of your own house. Yeah, it kind of does, because here's why I'd say that. Here's why I'd say the movie makes you terrified of your own house. Because they don't know that this demon's in their house. They're not sure of this, entity that's in their house. And then they find out, and that's when the movie gets really creepy. Now, of course, you have to talk about it. When you talk about this movie, you have to talk about what happened after this movie was made. Which, honestly, is just weird. It's just really out there. It's really weird. And it's just really just, it's fucking weird. It's just like, what the fuck? Why would this happen? So, of course, after this movie was made, and after these 3 movies were made, Heather O'Rourke died of, like, a heart attack. Most people think it's because of her being so terrified of this movie. I would not say that. What I would say is that maybe they died because they were traumatized by this movie, maybe because of all the, like, screaming they had to do and everything. The weirder one, though, is Dominic Dunn. If you guys don't know, Dominic Dunn was out with her boyfriend, and basically, she was strangled by her ex-boyfriend in the driveway of her West Hollywood home, and she fell into a coma. She never regained consciousness, and she died after being declared brain dead. That's even weirder, because, like, Heather O'Rourke's is, like, okay, maybe she has some sort of condition or something, maybe she had, like, a heart condition, but Dominic Dunn's is even weirder what happened to her. Like, I have no idea why that happened. She was just brain dead, and a lot of people think it's because of the movie, and again, I would not say it's because of the movie, but you have to talk about it. It's so weird that this just happened after the movie. I don't know if that happens, but because of this, people are, like, so scared that if they watch the movie, they're gonna die. It's like, I find it hilarious because it's a movie. It's a movie. It's just, if you watch the movie, it's a movie. Okay? So many people have watched this movie and they're still alive. You're not gonna die from watching Poltergeist. Seriously, it's so stupid. And the other thing I love about this movie is, you know how many ghost movies, there are a lot of jump scares in this movie? This movie does not have many jump scares at all. In fact, the scariest parts of this movie are not the jump scares. Yes, the clown thing's sort of a jump scare, but there are barely any jump scares in this movie, really, and I really like that definitely about Poltergeist. It's something I've always loved about it. And, that's something I will always love about the movie. And the other thing is, it kind of started the whole, like, possession kind of movies, which I also really like. Not possession, not like The Exorcist, which I haven't seen yet, but I will review that for you guys. you know, not like that, but more like, you know, ghost entity type of movies. So yeah. So that's basically it for my review of Poltergeist. Let me know what you guys saw of this movie. Overall, I love this movie. And let me know what you guys think of this movie. And I actually am going to review this on Letterboxd. I will let you guys know what I think of it. But that's it for this video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. And I'll see you guys in my next video, which will be my review for tonight's episode of Doctor Who, which I will be doing another collab review with the Kid of Awesome. So I'll see you guys for that. Okay, bye.